this fight might be canceled, right? And this is very, very hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, last thing I'll ask you about is, you know, Khabib Nurmagomedov, obviously he was supposed to fight this last weekend. We all know why he didn't. Recently, George Saint-Pierre was talking to ESPN, and this is not a new topic, but it's a topic that just continues to linger out there that, hey, George is retired, but he leaves the door just slightly cracked open to potentially fight a guy that he really respects in Khabib Nurmagomedov. So you represent Khabib, you know how many more fights this guy wants, how many years he wants to be in there, sort of his mood. You know him better than obviously any of us. What has to happen here to see a fight between George and Khabib?
I mean, Justin Gaethje is going to try to get me killed, but listen. I listened to the interview, and I think the way the interview was conducted, it was like a little bit manipulated. You know, first of all, you know, George is not even in the conversation right now. Let me say something first. George Saint-Pierre is the greatest fighter of all the time. I'm telling I represent Khabib, I represent the many great champions. But George Saint-Pierre, it is the greatest athlete fighter in UFC ever seen. Period. There's nobody else. It's right now is nobody. And he's a very good friend of mine. I love George. Been my friend for 15, 16 years. And I'm not gonna say anything about negative about George because he's a wonderful human being, and I really have a lot of love for him. Right? Khabib is my brother, and I'm very close with him. Like I'm very close to a lot of my athletes. Right? If George Saint-Pierre wanted to fight, it's very simple. We can make this happen. In 2018. George Saint-Pierre wanted to fight Michael Bisping for the middleweight title. Dana White didn't believe it, and I got involved as a friend. And I have to convince John Shelby to convince Dana to meet with George. George flew to Las Vegas. I didn't manage him. I was helping him as a friend. He had dinner with me and John Shelby and Dana White at an Italian restaurant in Las Vegas. And then I was like, this guy don't want to fight. He never want to fight again. 30 minutes in the conversation, George went to the bathroom. Dana White, he's out of his mind. He's crazy. George Saint-Pierre, it is out of his mind. He is a little bit nutty, right? And then
why did he say that? Why what did he mean?
Because George he started getting up, like shouting and walking around the table, and just got very emotional. George Saint-Pierre, he's an emotional guy. He always have a chip on his shoulder, but it's real. And Dana White see the reality in it, right? And after that, Ari wanted to meet him. We flew on Dana's plane. Me and Dana and George met us there. We met Ari in here. And this is how the Bisping happened, right? I don't manage George. I didn't manage Bisping. And that was 2018. Now, let's be real. I manage Khabib. I'm very good friend with George. You don't think I can make this fight happen with Dana White? But Dana White has stipulations. He said, if George Saint-Pierre wants this fight, people talk about every couple of months about George Saint-Pierre, but I respect Justin, I respect Tony. George is not even in a conversation because it's a lot of guys before George. I'll put George before Conor every day of the week, but I'm not going to put George before Justin Gaethje. I'm not going to put George before Tony Ferguson because this is a deserving guy. But it's, because they'll be disrespectful. Not because Justin is my client, he's disrespectful. And George is not the guy I want to disrespect other people, And if George Saint-Pierre wanted this fight really, really happen, he have to do 3 things. Pick up the phone, he can call me, he can call Dana directly. Dana White respect George Saint-Pierre. He really likes George Saint-Pierre. And Dana White doesn't like too many people. He does not. He have to make 155 pounds, and he have to communicate. He have a good team, but he always can call me, and everybody can ask him what happened in 2018, and he's my friend. But I communicate people. I communicate with people. That's it. But all the time talk about George want to fight this guy, George want to fight this guy. Hey, send the location, like Khabib said. Send the location, send the phone number. We can make it happen. Right now, it's about Justin Gaethje. For me, it's about Justin Gaethje fighting Tony Ferguson, knock his head off, clean off. You understand? sending back, you know. Listen, people said it's a curse. Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje is a curse. Guess what? May 9, the spell on this fight is going to be dissolved because Justin Gaethje is I believe he's going to knock him out. He's going to put him to sleep. And now we don't have to talk about Tony anymore, right? That's it, man. It's kill or to be killed. And that's what Justin bringing to the table. But George, I love George, but it's simple. Call me, make 155 pounds, and call Dana White. Yeah. Believe me, Dana White like money, man. Nobody like money more than Dana White. But it's going to be, most of the time, it's going to be on his term. And his term is 155 pounds. Mm-hmm. That's his term. I think this is the problem. George want to make 155 pounds. Personally, I don't want to see George fight again. The guy did everything he did in the sport. Why he need to fight Khabib? Khabib is 31 years old. I'm not saying George is very good, you know, but George, he's smaller than Khabib. Walking weight, George walks smaller than Khabib. I know for sure. He walked around on 183. Khabib walked around on 185, right? But right now, at this moment, it's not about George. It's about Justin Gaethje knocking out Tony Ferguson, fighting Khabib for the undisputed lightweight title. Yeah, that's it. You know, I can't just, this whole George conversation has to be killed today because George, he did everything. Why you want to fight Khabib? For what?
I mean, I think to me, there's only 2 fights that he would ever want to come back for at this point, and it's Conor or it's Khabib, just because of the magnitude.
Let's be real. You know, Conor is irrelevant right now. I'm telling you, he's irrelevant. Listen, Khabib is number 1. Number 2, Gaethje and Tony. Conor is number 4. Why are we even talking about Conor? Nobody cares about Conor. Conor have an opportunity to fight Gaethje. Now, guess what? Gaethje is going to be fighting for the title, and Conor is going to sit in a stand watching. Or maybe he's like illegally streaming the pay-per-view. You know, like nobody cares about this guy. Why does George have to beat a guy who tapped 4 times in his career?
I'm not saying he has to beat him. I'm just saying that I think that would interest him to some degree.
You know what's the problem is? The media created Conor. We all talk about Conor. Like I'm talking about high-level fighters. I'm talking about killers. You understand? Yeah. We're not talking about money fight. If we're going to talk about money, yes, bring Conor to conversation. But if you talk about number 1 contender, Conor doesn't even belong in there. He's number 4 right now. He's not even number 1, number 2, number 3. You understand? And if George come, listen to me. Khabib's father dreamed to make Khabib and George Saint-Pierre, right? Yeah, yeah. If it was $100 million on the table for Conor and $20 million for GSP, Khabib's father is the boss. It's not me. It's not Khabib. He's gonna say no. You fight in GSP. Conor is it's okay. It's old news.
All right, I got 2 things for you. First off, you can't say that the media created Conor, because actually right now, if you asked any media member out there, they would all tell you that Conor does not deserve a rematch with Khabib. Every single one of them would say that. So that's just materially false. And the second thing I want to ask you about, and it's something that I'm predicting, is I think that there's a good chance that Khabib will fight George, and that will be the final fight of his career. Like, I understand that the UFC maybe doesn't want him to fight George now because he's the champion and he's got a list of contenders. But at some point, this guy's, if he gets through them, or even if he doesn't get through them and he's not the champion anymore, that's a fight that both guys want so much that why not make it happen as the last fight on Khabib's career? Am I crazy?
It's a lot of ifs, because Justin Gaethje knocking out Tony's going to fight Khabib next. It's a lot of ifs, right? Khabib have the chance. George have a chance to fight Khabib, but George is retired. Why we even bringing this pressure on George Saint-Pierre? We don't, like, he's the greatest of all the time, right? Why? Like, I think we putting pressure on him. George is so powerful. He can pick up the phone and talk to Ari Emanuel or Dana White or Sean Shelby and say, hey guys, I'm making 155 pounds. And guess what? He's gonna leapfrog everybody. That's how powerful George Saint-Pierre is. You understand? Because George Saint-Pierre is a real fight. It's a real fight. But right now, it's not about George. It's about Justin Gaethje today. It's about Tony Ferguson today. Listen, I'm giving even Tony Ferguson credit because a guy I don't even really care for. Like Khabib is a stupid guy. you know. But I have to give him the credit. How are you gonna give him a title over him or over Justin if Justin wins? You can't. Khabib will not allow that. That's how honorable Khabib is. You know, Khabib is a different guy. I've never seen him. Khabib is so honorable. He will take this for so much less money because he knows the right decision to make. You know, that's it. That's just. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of ifs. Right now,
For sure.
it's gonna be an title. Khabib is gonna come back and he's gonna try unify this title. Simple.
Yep. Yep. Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, May 9th at a location to be disclosed. We appreciate your time, Ali. Maybe we'll check in with you when you go down there.
One more thing. Don't forget about the greatest combat athlete of all the time. One of my opinion, not joke. I think he's one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Henry Cejudo. It's an amazing card. So many fighters, so many superstars. The UFC, listen, you know, they put on a great card, and I think it's gonna be one of the best cards they ever, you know. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the time.